Whoever visits Cala Llombards, Cala Santanyí and Cala Figuera will feel as if they've been transported to the landscape of the fjords of Norway. There are no roads along the coastline, and the stretches of beach are only accessible by going through Santanyí. On the way to the rugged coastline, you cannot miss the well-tended almond plantations, where the trees are professionally pruned before flowering. The cut branches are burned directly in the field, or are piled near the house, where the farmer will use them later to light the fire in the fireplace. The sheep help to keep the almond groves clean by eating the grass and leaving their manure behind. This perfect almond grove maintains a healthy ecosystem. When the fruits are mature, stems do not grow in the earth. They harden. They can spread the nets and collect the nuts without hindrance. The sea has been eroding the cliffs covered with shellfish and marine animals for millennia here. At the end of the track, you will find calm turquoise water for bathing in a small sandy cove. Between Cala Santanyí and Cala Llombards is one of the main attractions of the coastal landscape of Mallorca, the Rock of Espontes. The Archduke Louis Salvador described the three bays in detail with illustrations in the second volume of his book, The Balearics Described by the Word. He described the Torre Nova, located high in the tip of Cala Santanyí on Roca Fessa. Santanyi Tower was built in 1963. Circular stone reinforced with sandstone, the tower has a small door with a high ledge and a large open tank of water at its base. Next to it, in between large prickly pear trees, are two small houses with iron gates. From the tower you can enjoy a beautiful view over Cap Cabrera Salinas and all that lies before our eyes. Until the early 20th century, only fishermen lived in Santanyí, Cala Llombards and Cala Figuera, and they inhabited the coves during the warm months of the year. Round about 1920, some fishermen's huts were built as shelter for the fishermen, but only occasionally they were used by their families as a place to stay on vacation. In the 1960s, building began on these shores, and the visitors began to come. Some of them were even models, and the area began to change. The inhabitants of the small village of Es Llombards lead a simple and frugal life, especially in winter, and they enjoy the tranquility of the absence of crowds of tourists. Great wealth has not reached them, but has rather stayed in Santanyí, so the inhabitants of Llombards are still hanging tomatoes on large strings. Santanyí's small coves are particularly attractive during sunny winter days. The Mallorcan writer Josep Pla wrote in 1950 in his book on the island, "In Santanyí begins a charming African landscape."